A very good morning and warm welcome. It's standard for your online teaching learning session. It's your science period, and today we are going to start with a new lesson 9, disaster management. So let's start. Now, what do you mean by disaster? Disaster is any sudden calamity event that will disrupt the functioning of a community, society at national level or international level, causing loss of human life, plant and animal life, then property and material loss, etc., economic loss. These all losses exceed the ability to cope using one's own resources. Such disastrous is the situation. What are the different types of disaster? Now, there are two types of disaster, either natural or man made. Flood, volcanic eruptions, earthquake, tsunami, cyclone, okay, fire breakout. So, these are different types of disasters. Now, what is an earthquake and what are the effects? Many of us might have experienced earthquake, and might of us have seen in the news, or your relatives might have experienced. So these earthquake are sudden, all of a sudden vibrations on the earth, and there is a shaking of the surface of the earth or the ground, you can say. That is an earthquake. Effects we all have seen: loss of human life, loss of property, loss of environment, ecosystem gets damaged, possibility of fire increases in the affected area, then economic losses of that particular state or at the national level, such as you might have seen the electric poles get damaged, the pipelines get busted, houses and buildings are they get washed away with the floody water, roads, railways, the railway tracks get damaged. Okay, so these are major effects of earthquake which cause a huge loss. Then, if there is an earthquake at the bottom of the ocean, you might have heard of tsunami. So basically, earthquake is on the land, and what is tsunami? It is an earthquake in the ocean or sea. So this earthquake is at the bottom of ocean that creates tsunami waves and thereby large scale destruction of coastal region. So coastal region is at threat while there is tsunami, and tsunami waves we have seen in the news channels, and also during the 2005 tsunami uh, that destroyed Tamil Nadu and Chennai on a large scale. Okay, so these are the effects of earthquake. Now you can see in the picture, when a earthquake occurs, what the situation is. The trees are uprooted, the buildings have major cracks in them, the roads have cracks in them. When the earthquake is on a larger scale, you might have seen the roads also get damaged. Yes, so these are the effects, after effects of the earthquake, and we come to know that a earthquake has occurred. Now the intensity also varies, that we'll be studying later. Okay, so now, as I told you, that the sudden vibrations on the earth and shaking of the earth's surface or ground, that is earthquake. Now, what happens is that our earth, sorry, is internally made up of multiple layers. We have studied that. Yes, mantle, core, which is in liquid state. Then you have solid, and the topmost is the crust. Okay, so there is some sudden fault in the interior of the earth surface. There is a stress on the edge of the surface, and here when the stress is too much, the earthquake occurs, which releases some energy in the form of waves, and these waves are called as seismic waves that leads to movement of the earth's surface, and we can feel the tremors. Okay, the shaking that we come to know, okay, earth is shaking. So that movements They are because of the seismic waves. Yes, so this is the situation during an earthquake. Now, actually, what happens inside the surface of the earth, we'll be looking at that. Let us understand why do earthquakes actually happen. Like I told you that it is an intense shaking of the earth's surface. Okay, and this shaking is caused by the movements in the earth's outermost layer. Now we have studied that earth is made up of multiple layers inside. Okay, so the earth has something called as plates. Okay, inside the surface of the earth, it is tectonic plates. Now these plates are actually one besides another. Okay, so they are not fixed. You can understand as two pieces of rocks or blocks when they are arranged. So these plates, as they are not fixed with each other, these plates keep on shifting. Okay, there is continuous movement among these plates as they are continuously shifting. Now this non-stop movement amongst the plates sometimes causes stress on the earth's crust, that is the outermost layer. When these stresses get too large, these then lead to cracks, and that we call as faults. And then we actually feel the tremors. The shock and the waves you can see in the picture that are formed inside the interior of the earth, they travel through a certain distance. Okay, now what is epicenter? You can see in the picture, you might have heard of this word. Whenever there is an earthquake, you might have heard that the epicenter was this particular XYZ place, and another cities or areas around did felt the tremors. So this epicenter is the location when an earthquake has begun. So there the after effects of earthquake would be much disastrous than the surrounding areas, because the intensity of the shaking or the stress on the earth's surface inside was highly at that particular point. So that is the epicenter where the earthquake occurs. And this shaking, let me tell you, it is intense in the epicenter area, but it also is felt and detected hundreds and even at times thousands of miles away. You can see in the picture how the waves are traveling. As they keep on traveling more farther, the intensity is reduced, but the tremors are being felt in that particular nearby areas also. You might have heard sometime that if there is a earthquake in Pakistan, many states of India like Delhi, Punjab also experience the vibrations or the tremors. Okay, and those tremors are not so intense, or the earthquake is not so intense, but yes, the tremors have been felt. So this is how the earthquake occurs, and this is the mechanism behind it. Just remember the waves that are created, they are called as seismic waves. Epicenter is where the location of the earthquake. And what are these seismic waves? Let me tell you once again. This is the energy from the earthquake that travels through the earth's surface in vibrations. And these plates keep on vibrating, further movements occur, and hence we feel there are vibrations. Okay, now obviously the waves will first reach to the epicenter area and further they'll keep on traveling. Now the shocks at times are mild, and in some cases they are very intense. Around in 2000 or 2001, there was a earthquake in Surat in Gujarat. You need to read about it, students. It was one of the most I can say, nightmares for the people of Gujarat. It was so disastrous, it had caused a huge loss. Also, earthquake in Bhuj, again in Gujarat. So, these earthquakes, if they are very intense, it can cause destruction of everything in the environment. Now, there is this National Earthquake Information Center. According to this information center, every year approximately 12,400 to 14,000 earthquakes occur on the planet Earth. It is just that some are very mild, which are not even observed or felt by us, and some are quite intense. Some are moderate. Okay, so with this observation, it is concluded that the earth is continuously vibrating. Yes. Now we need to also measure that how intense the earthquake was, right? Was it mild, moderate, or severe? Or the is the that particular region prone to earthquake? So can there frequently be earthquakes occurring? So accordingly the measures can be taken. So seismograph or seismometer is an instrument that records the earthquake. The name comes from the seismic waves, the vibrations that have been traveling through the earth. Okay, the energy that was released. I explained to you prior. And another one is Richter scale. You might have heard whenever there is an earthquake, they give you the information in the form of magnitude. Okay, so there is this scale uh, ranging from 1 to 10, and on that it is measured. Now, if the earthquake, the scientists suggest that if the earthquake is beyond 6.5 to 7 magnitude, it is categorized as severe earthquake. If it is below 6.5 or below 7, then it is mild or moderate accordingly. So this scale gives you the information about the magnitude of the earthquake that helps you understand how intense it was. Okay, so a magnitude, we all know it is a mathematical unit that measures the intensity. Now, here you have vertical seismometer and horizontal seismometer. This seismometer will detect the seismic waves and record them as a series of zigzag. Okay, now this is not as in our syllabus, so we would not go much in detail. But also this instrument helps in determining the time, location, intensity of the earthquake, and also it records the uh, information about the rocks through which the seismic waves have traveled, or the tectonic plates, you can say. Okay. Next, we'll be looking at the causes and effects of an earthquake. Now, first, causes: volcanic eruptions. We all are aware. Stress of big dams on the earth. Now, what happens is not just dams, but any sort of construction, building up of railway tracks. Now, if the land is not strong enough, if that particular surface is not strong enough, and if still you put pressure, it is obviously going to create stress on the inside of the earth's surface that can cause earthquakes. Then mining is also one of the reason. With the help of bomb explosions, the mining is done. Then underground atomic tests that are carried out. And lastly is water that percolates through the cracks of the earth. Now, on the earth's surface, if there are cracks, then water keeps on percolating in them. What happens is, because of this, heat is increased. The water then converts into the steam because of the heat, and then this steam formed tries to come out from the loosened earth surface. Now, when it is trying to come out, it is also going to create stress inside the surface of the earth, and hence earthquake can take place. Sometimes we do not come to know the reason of the earthquake. So scientists study on these things, on some of these causes, and then come out with the cause of earthquake in that particular area. Next, effects. Now, what are the effects once the earthquake has occurred? Loss of property, loss of material, loss of human lives, loss of animals and plants, flora and fauna. Then ecosystem destruction due to the loss of biodiversity. When there is no biodiversity, there would be no ecosystem. Economic loss, I discussed in the initial part. Direction of the flow of river and stream changes. Now, when the river is flowing, if there is an earthquake, even the water changes its path, the stream changes its path. There are artificial reservoirs created when there is no necessary or when that particular place is not appropriate. Then flooding can occur if the flow of river direction changes and that particular area is low lying. Floods can occur in that particular area. Possibility of fire, yes, very true. Then if there is earthquake, now I explained you this, that in the bottom of the ocean there is earthquake, it creates tsunami waves and thereby it destructs the complete coastal region. Okay, so these are some of the effects of the earthquake. We all are aware about it. Also pollution, the global warming, somewhere directly or indirectly are responsible for these natural disasters. Now we have studied what is earthquake, what are the causes, what are the effects. Now, as an individual, what precautions you need to take when there is a earthquake in your area? How do you help people around you at the time of earthquake? Okay. Now, first, if you are at home and you feel the tremors or the sudden shock, do not get scared. Usually people get scared, they create fear among others as well and start spreading rumors, get panic and create a panicking situation which will enhance the problems. It will create trouble for you to get out of that disaster. Firstly, stay calm, do not panic, stay composed. I know it becomes difficult, but we have to be mentally stable. Instead of running here and there, what you can do is stand still at one place. Already there is movement, okay, there is shaking of the earth's surface, and you keep on running. No. Stand at one place or slowly start moving. Either do one thing that you can sit on the floor or below the bed, or if you have any other furniture in and around your house, cover yourself until the movement stops. If you keep on moving here and there, if by chance the bed falls on you, if the earthquake is severe or something else happens, of you fall, okay, that will create more problems. Better is sit in one place, sit in a safer place. If there is no table or any other shelter in your house or wherever you are, go and sit in any one of the corner and cover your head by folding your hands. Okay, just like it is shown in the picture, you need to cover your head. For example, if there is any belonging that falls on your head, you can protect your head. This way, you also help the others around you. If you are in the vehicle or outside the house, okay, outside the house, outside any safer place, for example, in your park, if you're in a vehicle, sit in a safe place inside the park, in the vehicle, wherever you are. Once again, do not rush here and there. Do not try to rush home. No. Wherever you are, wait there. Specifically, do not wait under a tree. Always remember this, students. Under an electric pole or any tall building. Now, this is very logical. If the building falls, you will also come under the debris. Second, tree. We have studied that there can be lightning, heavy rains also. Okay, during the rainy season, if there is an earthquake, so if you stand under a tree, it is not at all safe. If the tree gets uprooted, again you might come under the tree. Poles. These poles have wires. One can get entangled in that. Okay, the poles can give you shocks. So these are not at all the safer places. Please understand and also guide people around you. Now, what you need to avoid during an earthquake. Avoid using lift when you are in a mall or multi-storied building. Instead, use staircase. Staircase is always safe because during an earthquake, like we study, that electric poles get uprooted, so the electricity is cut off. If the lift is stops working, all of a sudden you will get stuck inside it. Already you are panic. You will feel enclosed in that lift, like lift is enclosed, so you'll feel that claustrophobic. You will suffocate and something might happen to you. So in that case, use staircase. It is quite ventilated and you can easily move out. You also have emergency exits in all the complexes or any kind of mall or enclosed building if you go. Then do not sit in any discomfort position for long. Keep on doing some physical movements. And most importantly, whenever there is an earthquake, there is a possibility of fire. As everything in and around gets damaged, the wires might break out, there might be short circuits or fires. So the first thing you need to do is switch off the main electric supply without fail. Do not use candles, do not use lantern or matchbox. It can cause fire. Better is you use torch, use your battery, and nowadays every one of us have mobile phones and also you have a torch in that. So go for that things. So these things are very important to know, students. This will somewhere somehow help us in our life, and if not us, our near and dear ones. So do spread this information. Earthquake resistant or earthquake proof building. Just like you have fireproof door, fireproof complexes, soundproof door. Okay, same way you have earthquake resistant constructions. Now these are the constructions that do not get damaged due to the earth movements up to a certain limit. Okay, certain magnitude of earthquake cannot damage or destroy these constructions, and hence these are called as earthquake resistant buildings. Now to construct tall buildings, there is a Indian Standard Institute, ISI, that has made some code of conduct. Okay, rules, regulations that have been made that need to be followed. Now these buildings, earthquake resistant buildings, are constructed as per Indian Standard 456, and earthquake resistant constructs are performed as per IS 1893. Now these are the criteria, students, for earthquake resistant design. The design of the particular construction would be in such a way that it would prevent the damage during an earthquake of particular intensity. Okay, and also there are advanced technology being used for earthquake resistant construction. And if you need to understand, or if the scientists need to understand or get a prior intimation about an earthquake, there are various modern equipments like laser ranging baseline, Geiger counter, creep meter, strain meter, tide gauge, tilt meter, volumetric strain gauge, and many others such that will help them to get an intimation or information about the earthquake in prior. Okay, now these again is not in detailed in our syllabus, so we would not be going too much into it. Just remember the instruments that are being used. disaster we are going to study is fire. Now, for us, a common man, a fire is just a fire. Okay, you don't categorize it as class A, class B, or level A, level B. No, but the fire brigaders, they are well versed with this information, and we individual also should be aware of this information, as this will help us anytime if there is any such disaster in and around us. Okay, so this fire is categorized in different types. Class A fire. Now, solid substances. Now, commonly flammable solid material. Now, firstly, what is flammable? That easily catches fire. Now, these are wood, clothes, coal, paper. Now, these all substances, students, are at our home also. Accidentally at domestic level, if these things catch a fire, how you can extinguish it? It can be put out with the water. You did not call fire brigade for that. Okay. Then class B fire, liquid substances. Now this class B fire is caused due to the flammable liquid substances. Petrol, oil, diesel, then cooking oil, paint, varnish, etc. Now this also accidentally at domestic level it can occur, or even outside, outdoor it can occur. This fire, just remember, it can be extinguished with the help of fire extinguisher. If you see nowadays, it is compulsory in the school, in the mall, in any kind of institution or any kind of building or a complex, fire extinguishers have to be there. Okay, you also can see small buckets of red color are being placed with mud in it. Why? If there is a small fire, with the help of extinguisher or with the help of that mud, the fire can be extinguished. So these liquid substances need fire extinguisher. Then class C fire, gaseous substances. Now fires that are caused due to gases, acetylene, household gas that is there for a domestic purpose, that is LPG. So that is class C fire. Here you can need fire brigade. Class D fire, chemical substances. This is very hazardous, very disastrous, and it can be life threatening. You might have seen recently there was a fire breakout in Andheri which lasted for more than 50 hours. 50 students. One or two fire brigades also lost their lives in that operation. So sometimes it is very, very disastrous. The situation is terrific. Okay, it is not a joke. So always handle this flammable substances with very much care and precaution. Now, chemical substances, this is caused due to the combustible metals, potassium, sodium, calcium, which react with water at room temperature. Also, that react at higher temperatures such as magnesium, aluminium, zinc. Now, whenever there is such kind of fire, it is going to explode, it is going to cause a blast. Now, this doesn't usually happen at domestic level. This usually occurs at the industrial level, where the in the factories where the work is on a larger scale. Class E fire, electrical. This fire is caused due to the electrical components, and to extinguish this fire, initially the power is cut off and then fire extinguishers are used. Okay, at times even cut off of electric supplying instruments is necessary. Then we have methods of fire extinction. Now there are three main methods. First is cool out, that is use of water, which is very common and effective solution available for everyone. Just spray water on the fire or around the fire. It will create a cooling effect and it will help to control the fire. Even in the kitchen, if the utensil catches a fire, you just put water around it or enclose it, the fire goes off. Next, suppress the fire. To control the fire that is caused due to the electricity, oil, sand or soil can be used. Okay, like I said, you might have seen sand in the buckets. Now, if we spread a froth like substance on the fire, it will cut off the contact between the air and the fire. Let me tell you, air, it aggravates the fire. And this method is more useful to extinguish the fire that is usually spread to oil. And third is keep away the flammable substances. You need to take proper care of keeping the flammable substances in proper safe place. All the flammable substances should be kept away from the fire. Yes, no source should be left for the fire to spread. Okay, so you need to take proper care, and the precautions and the safety measures are given on your screen. Habit of switching off the gas regulator when not in use, especially during the night. Electrical appliances should be put off whenever you're going out of the house. Remember this: when there is thundering lightning, put off the electrical appliances. Make others alert. Call for help. Do not panic. Call fire brigade if in need. And one should be aware of how to use fire extinguisher. Even if you are in school, you need to be aware of this. And first aid. If the patient has been surrounded by fire, if the patient has panicked or fallen unconscious, let them sit or sleep in any comfortable position. Give them the first aid, the primary aid, and call the doctor immediately. Quite informative lesson, students. Please remember the things that we have studied. These are very logical, very helpful, and practical information that was given to you. It can be helpful to you at some point of life, and if not you, to your near and dear ones. So, to spread the information, help people around you. We are left with a small part of the lesson, that is landslides. We'll be completing in the next lecture. Till then, thank you. Stay safe, stay home, keep completing your books, and take care.